And I think that really, to me, kind of sums up what, when you can connect your purpose and your passion in business and in all areas, right, of life, but specifically in business, right? We have a job, right? We're made and built, and we can create so much potential within that. And so to be able to connect that to something that you're passionate about, and to be able to do it with people that share the same affinity for that and share the same value system, that to me is the ultimate way that you get to enjoy the ride and the day-to-day work that you're doing. And from the leadership side, being able to lead the team onto that, and even the overall vision for where we're headed as an agency, which we talk about. We connect people to brands that make life better. That's who we are as an agency. And when we look at the work that we're doing, right, when we function under that, under that ethos as an agency, and deliver on that, it's really connects the dots and brings just an immense amount of value and an immense amount of purpose to what we're doing.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
Today, we're going to talk about connecting purpose and passion. And when you do that well as a leader, you will have a much more engaged team. You'll have a high performance team. And that's really what we're all looking for. Today's special guest is the CEO of Experience Fresh. They're a digital agency, but they've got specific areas where they really perform at their highest. Today, we talk about the connecting the purpose and the passion for each of their creatives as they deliver on these experiences. The CEO is Brett Arndt, and he and I discuss the ins and outs of this purpose and passion thing. I think a lot of people think it doesn't belong in workplace as much as I believe, and certainly as much as Brett has seen the impact it's made for his fast-growing agency. So we go through the details of that. One of the things I like most about this is his clarity of thought around this, and the need for transparency, especially with creatives, as they are a little bit different than me or than other employees. You want to make sure that you create a space for that to really for them to express themselves. So my name is Gene Hammett. I am an executive coach. We do leadership development. We really specialize in creating leadership alignment across fast-growing companies, because as you grow and you add more people, alignment always becomes a little bit of an issue. And so I have been doing this for years. We also do manager coaching, where we help them become better leaders. And so all of those things are in service of helping companies that have big opportunities in front of them to really capture that opportunity and really make the most of it. If you're curious about the work that we do, just reach out to me, gene@genehammett.com. My promise to you is to serve you to the highest level before we even start. If I can't add value in your world, then there's no reason why you should hire me. So if you jump on the phone with me, we talk about some of the things that you're faced with. I can give you more clarity, give you more confidence to do it, and even give you a playbook that you can go and execute. And you can do it on your own, or if you want the support of me or my team, happy to help you. Just send me an email, gene@genehammett.com. Now here's the interview with Brett. Brett, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. We're going to have a great interview today. Tell us a little bit about your company, Experience Fresh.
So I can give you the short version or the long version, but I'll give you let me give you the longer version because it's a little more fun. So Experience Fresh, we are a full service digital agency based right here in the middle of the country out of St. Louis, Missouri. We service a few different verticals in a very, very focused amount of competencies. So we do a few things with great exception. So as an agency, in-house, we have strategy, we have creative, and we have performance marketing. So about 30 folks on the team, all under one roof. And we serve a few different verticals as well. Our focus in verticals is health and wellness, with actually an emphasis in aging services. And then we do work across hospitality and commercial real estate. And then we also have a very fast growing D2C e-com and streaming services division.
Fantastic. I've had experience with agencies in most of those areas. As I started my career in coaching, it was a lot of agency work. But when you talk about the work you're doing. You say full service, but then you got zeroed in on the verticals and then also the work that you do. Where do you think everything's going in the next 3 years as it relates to the work that you do for clients?
Well, I think if I was going to tell you the long story of kind of where we got to, of how we got to where we are, we kind of accidentally fell into both the verticals and the competencies, which plays into kind of where the future of where we feel like the industry is headed. But what's unique right now in advertising and in marketing is that everyone's freaking out because of AI, and as they should. But everyone's, I think, kind of freaking out for the wrong reasons, because we got to look at this amazing landscape of this industry that's been completely rewritten since COVID, and now where it's being rewritten again. And what we're looking at now is we just have an amazing opportunity to really double down on what. And even going back maybe a little bit to kind of the roots of advertising and of creative and of marketing is this ability to create authentic human connection and trust between a brand and a customer. So when you ask that question, kind of where it's headed, I think that it's completely unpredictable. But I think where I think it's headed for the right direction. I think it's headed for a really strong an industry that needed a bit of a recourse or a little bit of a redirection. And so for agencies that are nimble, or for agencies that have kind of been on the scene over the past 4 years, I think the next 4 years is going to feel like an exciting journey in the agency world.
You brought up the AI, and we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but what impact will AI have on your world over the next 3 years or so?
I think what we're seeing is the efficiencies that are going to happen in AI. And I think where agencies that I would say kind of refuse to embrace the efficiencies of AI, but I would even say more agencies that refuse to embrace it, but also refuse to communicate the effectiveness and the usage and even the value that it's going to create for their clients are the agencies that are in trouble. I think the value that we're seeing of being able to create and produce more and being able to really do more with less, right? Where, you look at our creative department, for example, our production team. We've grown through 2 acquisitions in the production space, in the creative space. So as our agency, as we grew, we started to find these really boutique agencies that were amazing creatives, but just really were not a fan of the operational elements of running an agency day to day. So we joined forces. We rolled up 2 of these agencies and partnerships within Experience Fresh. And the amount of volume of creative that's increased with a staffing model that's been able to stay consistent. And when you communicate that to your clients, and when you are transparent and authentic about the impact that that's having on their quality of work and even on their budgets, I think that's what we're seeing as a huge impact on the AI side. And then obviously every other division of the agency, from performance and paid media all the way to account management, it's impacting every touch point of the agency.
Glad to see you're embracing it, because it definitely is something that I think those that don't embrace it will suffer because of it. We came here not to talk about the agency world and AI in any way, but connecting purpose and passion. Before we even dive into that, give us your understanding of purpose and passion as it relates to building the kind of business that you've created at Experience Fresh.
Yeah, that's a good statement. And I think of purpose and passion. We have it's printed on everything from coffee mugs to stickers around the office. But a little theme we have at Experience Fresh is enjoy the ride. And I think that really, to me, kind of sums up what, when you can connect your purpose and your passion in business and in all areas, right, of life, but specifically in business, right? We have a job, right? We're made and built, and we can create so much potential within that. And so to be able to connect that to something that you're passionate about, and to be able to do it with people that share the same affinity for that and share the same value system, that to me is the ultimate way that you get to enjoy the ride and the day-to-day work that you're doing. And from the leadership side, being able to lead the team onto that, and even the overall vision for where we're headed as an agency, which we talk about. We connect people to brands that make life better. That's who we are as an agency. And when we look at the work that we're doing, right, when we function under that under that ethos as an agency, and deliver on that, it's really it really connects the dots and brings just an immense amount of value, an immense amount of purpose to what we're doing.
I know I get to see you in video, and I can feel the energy come out of your smile when you talk about purpose and passion for your business and how much you love it. Connect the dots for us though on purpose and passion to bottom line. Because a lot of people would say you don't have to have purpose in your business. You don't have to have passion, but I think you do. But can you connect the dots the best you can for us?
Yeah. I mean, I might tell it with a story, if that's all right, Gene. So my background, if I chase it back even before Experience Fresh started. So I'm mid-20s, working in a number of different startups. Kind of fell in love with this idea of creating authentic connection and trust between the brands that we were building and the customers we were serving. And the last startup I was with was acquired, and I was talking to a mentor of mine and telling him about, what should I be doing next? And he's like, you need to look in advertising. I'm like, all right, sweet. I love it. So I went around, I applied to no less than a half a dozen agencies around St. Louis, and I was completely unhireable. So no one would hire me because this consistent response was, if you want to work in advertising, you need agency experience. So, but I had all the startup experience. I was like, well, I can start things. Like, I know how to do that. So I started Experience Fresh a little bit out of this idea, not like this huge rebellion sense, but this idea that, hey, I think I can do it better. Like, I think that I can, if agencies are only willing to look within this traditional approach of working with agency people, where you have to like follow this certain stepping stone to be able to reach this career, there's got to be a different way to do it. So that's kind of that's in our origin story and in our founding story, and that's carried consistently throughout really where we are as an agency, right? We are as we talk about, we're a fiercely independent agency, and what that allows us to do is that allows us to tackle and take on projects and clients and partners that might not make sense to other agencies. What that also allows us to do, when we talk about connecting that to the bottom line, is a level of transparency that we have as an agency. There was nothing that would make me feel more gross or make me feel more inauthentic than just not being true to our story. So the values of our agency are authenticity, generosity, beauty, and hustle. And as we connect that and those values, both to purpose and to passion, but also those values to our bottom line, is that we created tactically a really unique way that everyone in the agency shares in the profits of our success as an agency. So when we talk about that purely from a bottom line profitability aspect, as we really put our money where our mouth is within our team and within our culture. So when people come and join the agency, they have the ability to really be able to not just influence the success and the growth of the agency, but we've created these metrics that are directly tied and directly reflected to the value we're providing for our clients and the culture that we're building, so that ultimately people are sharing in the overall success of the agency.
I asked Brett the question about the bottom line of purpose and passion. He gave a great answer. I'm going to really give you my take on that, just so you have a balanced view of this. First of all, it's people. If your people don't have purpose and passion about the work they do, they're not going to really do their all. And that leads us right into performance. When purpose and passion are there, people perform at a higher level. But then also leadership. Leadership is the one who really connects the dots and pushes all of this and connects it together. And it's a lot more fun to work in a place where we're purpose-driven and we are passionate about the work we do. It makes it easier to address a lot of the challenges that we have in the workforce, because there's always people problems and challenges. And I'm just reminding you of that as you move forward. Back to the interview with Brett. I love the way you framed this in for us. The purpose and passion for creatives, it's really hard to do the work that you do without it. Do you agree
You know,
with
we,
that?
I do. And I think we were interviewing a chief creative officer and she was, I mean, she's awesome. And we were talking about it in that process is that the creatives need to know that accounts have their back, right? And creatives need to know that the leadership that's envisioning and working on behalf of their clients, that they're going to really hold the line and that they're going to go and defend the work. Because when I truly believe that creatives, and I put myself in that category. My background's on the brand strategy side, but when you're building work, right, you're expensing so much energy of yourself, right, and you're really, when you do it well, it's costly, right? Like you are working to become part of that brand and to build something that you are not just proud of, but feels reflective to a bit of your character and a bit of who you are as a person, as a creator. And so I think when you're doing that level of work, there is I think costly might be maybe the best word there.
How do you lead creatives like this? It's not the easiest thing in the world to take people who are highly emotional and have that creative like talent. I'm an engineer, so I'm much more logical to things. But I'm just curious, what's your approach to leadership of a creative side?
Yeah, I think it starts. I think for me, it starts with a level of recognition all the way across the organization, but also it starts with a level of recognition and expression to the clients that we're serving, where when we can really educate our clients so that when our creatives are in those pitches or when they're showing work, right, they're exposing their work, right, they're showing their art and they're putting it up and open for interpretation. But as a leader, when we can set that precedence that creativity is inherently subjective, right? So ideas are going to be different, and thoughts on the either the value of the creator, or is it connecting? That is inherently, that is the other individual's subjective idea, right? So when we are pitching, we just wrapped up a campaign for Nature's Miracle. It's an amazing, product that is focused around people who love their pets, right? Cats and dogs have accidents in the house, spills, and Nature's Miracle is an amazing product. This is not a plug for Nature's Miracle. Great products and great people. And we're doing a spot right now that's airing in Times Square. It's an amazing, right? It's an amazing opportunity as an agency to have produced creative and gone through pitch decks and gone through concepts and storyboards to land where we are. But through that process, right, being able to lead our teams to say, hey, these are ideas, and there's value in these ideas, and within those ideas holds so much creativity. But if the client has a subjective approach, right, we have to listen to the client, because the client ultimately is accountable to, they're accountable to their boards, they're accountable to their brand. So it's our job as creatives to bring that to life.
When you think about your own inflection points of leadership, I know you've started this company not too long ago, but what is one that really stands out as your own journey and evolution as a leader?
Yeah, I think there's a few, Gene. And that's a great question. We've had some pretty wild growth over the past 4 years. And from 2011 to 2019, it was just me, operated Experience Fresh as a super boutique consultancy, and had the opportunity to work with big brands and small brands everywhere in between. And bringing on a partner for me was just a huge shift in my thinking, and then bringing on from there a executive leadership team to really, I would say, both insulate myself from my own ideas in the sense of but to bring in other voices, right? I think that the companies that I've seen, the leaders that I've talked to, the organizations that I follow, and more importantly, the women and men that I respect, surround themselves with true folks that are going to give them feedback, and surround themselves with people who are not just, yes men or yes women, but are really going to push on that. And so for me, with my leadership is surrounding myself with those individuals, but ultimately as a CEO, they still report to me. And as even the majority owner, even my partner, who's, almost a, lockstep 50-50 partner, but, he still reports to me, right? So I created an advisory board that gives me that extra layer of accountability. That advisory board that I'm sending quarterly updates to, that I'm asking for that level of accountability, and that's been a huge value. And then, ultimately, I think that goes back to that enjoy the ride message a little bit. Is I truly believe that for us to be successful, monetary success is definitely a measurement for sure. But doing this type of work, especially work in advertising, where it is so it's the ride. The highs are high, the lows are low. And doing that by yourself, that's daunting. But doing it with community and with people who are on the same boat and on the same vision. I mean, we've weathered some pretty amazing storms, and we've ridden some pretty high highs and some pretty low lows together. But to be able to, pull up a stool at the bar in our office and have a beer together and talk about those war stories makes it worth it.
Brett's been talking about his own inflection point. And one of the things I want to remind you of is we all have inflection points. I think a good exercise for you is to write down the inflection point you've had all on this year, maybe even look back over the last 3 years. Really look at the places where you've grown, why you've grown. Look at how you've grown, how that's changed your behaviors or your thoughts or your mindset. When you can do that, you can really see that you're evolving as a leader. And that is very important. As your company continues to grow and evolve, you have to evolve too. Back to Brett. One final question as we wrap up today, Brett, anything I left out on this connecting purpose and passion?
Yeah, I think that on connecting purpose and passion to our work, I think whatever industry you're in, for us it's advertising. But if you don't have true passion and you don't find purpose outside of monetary value, the sustainability to go when it gets really hard or to push that extra mile, I don't know how it's possible, right? Because if it's just driving in a monetary force or it's just driving for the next deal, that's going to fade and it's going to get real hard. And I've seen too many people that are willing to sacrifice too much, whether it's quality of life or whether it's integrity, if they're not connecting their purpose and their passion with their work.
That's a great place to end today's conversation with you, Brett. Thanks for being here and sharing your wisdom.
And thanks for having me, Gene.
Wow, another great interview here on the podcast. I love the work we're doing and the stories we're sharing with you and the impact. Hopefully you're taking notes and applying this across your business. This isn't just about the knowledge thing. I want you to actually apply it. Take something you've learned today and use it in your business. My hope is that when you talk about connecting purpose and passion, you are doing this on a regular basis at a higher level because of these interviews. So when you think about growth and you think about leadership, think about Growth Think Tank. As always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.